This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Man stabbed in dispute over goat in St. Catherine. A St. Catherine man has been charged with wounding with intent following an incident in his community on Thursday. Charged is 62-year-old Cleveland Williams, otherwise called Morris, unemployed of High Top West Prospect in Bog Walk. Reports from the Bog Walk police are that Williams and a neighbor had a dispute over a goat, during which Williams allegedly used a knife to stab the man in his abdomen. The man was taken to hospital where he was treated. A report was later made to the police, and Williams was subsequently arrested and charged after a question and answer session. He is scheduled to appear before the St. Catherine Parish Court on Friday, December 30. Man charged with burglary in St. Catherine. A St. Catherine laborer has been charged with a burglary following an incident in Augusttown Bog Walk on Monday. Charged is 22-year-old Kevin Robinson, otherwise called Maggie. Allegations are that about 10:30 p.m., Robinson was caught in the act stealing several items from a house that had been broken into. The police were alerted and he was taken into custody. Robinson was later interviewed and charged. He is scheduled to appear before the St. Catherine Parish Court on Friday, December 30. Woman stabbed to death in Spalding altercation. A female suspect is now in police custody following a dispute in which she allegedly stabbed to death a woman in Spalding at the Manchester-Clarendon border. Preliminary reports are that shortly before 3 p.m., the two women were involved in an altercation when one stabbed the other. The police were called and the suspect was arrested. Little London murder victim hailed as a man of God. A man who was gunned down in Little London in Westmoreland on Friday morning has been hailed as a man of God by his family and the wider community. Criswell Gale is said to have been riding home on his bicycle from choir practice at his church when he was killed by unknown assailants. He was a man of God, is a good boy, a prayer warrior, his mother, Millicent Richards, said of her now deceased 27-year-old son. Richards said Gale left home in the crime-plagued community of Russia to live with his bishop, who heads the King Jesus Pentecostal Church in the parish. 3 years ago, him left and live with him bishop. When him sing and pray, the yard mash down. Me no know how him no see that date day, because everything him always see when alright. The mother added as she believes her son had spiritual gifts, she said. Gale's father, Devon, told the news that his son was a good youth who had a close relationship with God. He was a man of God, baptized and filled with the Holy Ghost, he reassured. Meanwhile, the family told the news that their Christmas preparations have gone sour given the death of their loved one. Right now, Christmas has come and it's a dawn in the family. I thought it was going to be a Merry Christmas, but it's not going to be this year, a distraught Nikisha Gale revealed. Nikisha said her brother's death has come as a shock to the family as he was no troublemaker. It's really shocking to the family, cause it's not like he's a person who give trouble. We never really expect in a million years, said this did go happen. The seemingly disheartened woman added. As for her mom, she too agreed that the Christmas will not be so merry this year. Bitter, it not go nice. Not a pretty Christmas with me this year. It don't pretty with me, cried Richards as she took a glance at her son's photo. Church group livid overkilling of pastor. The Jamaica umbrella group of churches has used the murder of Pastor Linval Markey Lewis to again voice concern about the continued slaying of people across Jamaica. The JUGC noted that Lewis became another victim of the heinous nature of this ever-prevalent criminal activity, underscored by the fact, like so many other victims, he was murdered in broad daylight in the presence of his closest relatives. It is disheartening that one who so selflessly gave of himself in the service of God and the country, and whose life was dedicated to the upliftment of others, has been included with those so brutally cut down. May God grant everlasting rest to his soul and consolation to his family and the church community, the group said. The JUGC added that it is confident that the pastor's voice, though silenced, will never be forgotten or ignored, and the messages of hope and peace which he proclaimed while he served will be a lasting witness of God's grace. It is lamentable that so many of our people have embraced a culture of violence. Jamaica now has the highest murder rate in the Caribbean. However, despite the alarm and the concern which we feel, we have firmly resolved to fervently continue to promote peace, human dignity, and the sanctity of life. In addition, may all Jamaicans of goodwill resolve to promote due regard for human dignity in all social spheres of engagement as a contribution to diminishing violence and abuse of persons, said the JUGC. The church group has issued an appeal to anyone who has information that may be useful in identifying the perpetrators of criminal activities to take the appropriate steps to tell the police. Lewis, who was the pastor at the Spanish Town Tabernacle and the Greater Portmore Tabernacle, was shot several times by a gunman who is believed to have waylaid him as he drove from his house on Northwest 10th Way in Greater Portmore, St. Catherine on Monday afternoon. So far, the police have not yet established a motive for the killing. Man charged after allegedly attempting to rape a disabled woman. A St. Catherine man has been slapped with several charges after allegedly attempting to rape a disabled woman in his community. Anthony Peters, otherwise called Zeke's, 27-year-old unemployed of March Street, Redwood in the parish, has been charged with burglary, indecent assault, and assault occasioning bodily harm. Reports from the St. Catherine North Police are that on Saturday, December 17, about 3:35 a.m., Peters broke into the home of the disabled woman and attempted to rape her. However, a relative of the woman who had been visiting her surprised Peters, who assaulted both the women before escaping through a window. According to the police, prompt intervention by detectives led to Peters' capture and arrest. He is scheduled to be arraigned on Friday, December 30. Falmouth's Water Square free of vendors, but not all pleased. Mayor of Falmouth, Colin Jr. Gager, is expressing satisfaction at the response from vendors to the Trelawney Municipal Corporation's decision to make Water Square a no-vending area. I must say thanks to the vendors for their willingness to work along with us. I must say thanks to the police also, he stated Friday. He further said, when I walked the town, I could see people walking on the sidewalks as they were meant to be used. Garbage is being picked up. The way the square looks is the way I want to see it. However, one vendor trasher, in reacting to the no-vending policy, said the decision of the mayor runs counter to the origins of Water Square. The newly freed slaves would come to town and vend and barter. This decision destroys the history, he told the news. Police urge caution in attending entertainment events. The public is being reminded to exercise great care in choosing locations to party during the festive season. Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, head of the Corporate Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, says that people should avoid areas where there is ongoing gang conflict. SSP Lindsay said that criminals will use any and every opportunity to get at their opponents, adding that when they attack at entertainment events, it is usually the innocent people who are affected. So if you are aware of a conflict in your area and an event pops up, don't attend. Choose somewhere else to go. It's all in the interest of safety and security, she warned.
Persons should choose very carefully the events that they attend. And if you know that there's conflict, gang conflict and other things happening in your space, and you see an event pop up, don't attend. Where you have gang conflicts, the gangsters will use any and every opportunity to get at their opponents. They are the ones who are attending these events, and we see where you have gangsters operating in the same space with innocent citizens, and they are attacked by their opponents. Oftentimes, the innocent citizens who have nothing to do with the conflict, they are the ones that are so affected. So if you're aware of a conflict in your area and an event pops up, don't attend. Choose somewhere else to go. It's all in the interest of safety and security.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.